You've spent 30 years working, saving, and building a nest egg. But here's the question nobody wants to ask out loud. What if your money runs out before you do? It's not a scare tactic. It's a math problem. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to solve it. Most financial apps are built for the accumulation phase, growing your money. But almost nothing is built for the decumulation phase, actually spending it wisely in retirement. That gap is exactly where most retirees get into trouble. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 things every pre-retiree needs to understand. How long your money will actually last. The 3-bucket strategy that protects you in a market crash. What Monte Carlo Simulation really means for your plan. The Social Security decision that could cost you thousands. And how to get a retirement health score you can actually act on. The biggest risk in retirement isn't a stock market crash, it's outliving your money. And thanks to modern medicine, this is a very real risk. If you retire at 65 today, there's roughly a 50% chance one partner in a couple lives past 90. That means you could need your money to last 25 to 30 years. The basic math is simple. Take your total savings, subtract your annual withdrawal, factor in investment returns and inflation, and you get a number, the year your money runs out. But here's the thing. Most people have never done this calculation. They're flying blind. You might have heard of the 4% rule. Withdraw 4% of your portfolio each year, and your money should last 30 years. It's a decent starting point, but it was calculated using historical US market data from the 1990s, and it doesn't account for your specific situation, your spending, your inflation reality, or your actual life expectancy. Instead of using a static rule, you need a dynamic projection. One that updates as your life changes. That means plugging in your real numbers, your actual savings amount, your target monthly income, your expected investment return, and your estimated inflation rate. When you do this, you get a personalized answer, not a generic one. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful retirement income strategies ever developed, the 3-bucket strategy. It was popularized by financial planner Harold Evansky, and it's the gold standard for managing retirement income through market volatility. Here's the core idea. Bucket 1 is your cash bucket. This holds 1 to 2 years of living expenses in a high-yield savings account or money market fund. Its only job is to pay your bills. When the stock market drops 30%, you don't panic, because you're not touching the stock bucket. You're drawing from here. This is the psychological foundation of the whole strategy. Bucket 2 is your bond bucket. This holds 3 to 10 years of expenses in conservative investments, bonds, dividend-paying stocks, or bond funds. When bucket 1 runs low, you refill it from here. This bucket buys time. It gives your stock bucket years to recover from any market downturn, without forcing you to sell at the worst moment. Bucket 3 is your stock bucket. This is invested in equities for the long haul, 10 years or more. Its job is to grow faster than inflation, so you never fall behind. You don't touch this bucket for a decade. You let it compound. And when markets recover, you harvest gains to refill bucket 2. Here's how it all flows together. Each month, you draw your income from bucket 1. Every year or so, you review whether bucket 2 needs to refill bucket 1. And when markets are strong, you harvest from bucket 3 to refill bucket 2. This system means you never have to sell stocks in a down market. Never. That's the whole point. The key to making this strategy work is discipline. You need a system that tells you when to refill. Most people set this up manually with calendar reminders, but a smart retirement planner can automate this for you. alerting you when your cash bucket drops below a certain threshold and showing you exactly how much to move. Here's a problem with most retirement projections. They show you one line, a single best guess path of your money over 30 years. But the future isn't a straight line. Markets zig and zag. You might have a bad sequence of returns right at the start of retirement. That single projection is almost certainly wrong. Monte Carlo Simulation solves this. Instead of one projection, it runs thousands of randomized market scenarios, some good, some terrible, most somewhere in between. Then it asks, in how many of these scenarios did your money last as long as you needed? The answer becomes your probability of success. A 90% or higher probability of success is generally considered very safe. Between 70% and 90% is acceptable for most people with room to adjust. Below 70% means your plan needs work, whether that's spending less, working a bit longer, or changing your investment mix. The number gives you a lever to pull. One thing Monte Carlo catches that static projections miss is sequence of returns risk. Retiring in 2000 and retiring in 2003 are completely different experiences, even if the 30-year average returns are identical. If the market crashes in your first 3 years of retirement and you're withdrawing at the same time, that's devastating. Monte Carlo accounts for this. A spreadsheet doesn't. Let's talk about Social Security, because this one decision, when to claim, could mean a difference of $100,000 or more over your lifetime, and yet most people make it by default, claiming at 62 because they don't know any better. Here's what the math actually looks like. Actually, you can claim Social Security as early as age 62 or as late as age 70. Every year, you wait past your full retirement age, which is typically 67 for most people today. Your benefit grows by 8%. That 8% guaranteed annual return is better than most investments, but it only makes sense if you live long enough to capture it. The break-even point, the age at which waiting pays off, is typically around 78 to 82, depending on your situation. If you live past that age, waiting was worth it. If you don't, claiming early wins. The question isn't just financial. It's about your health, your spouse's situation, and whether you have other income to bridge the gap. If you're married, the claiming decision gets even more important. The lower earner might claim early to bring in income, while the higher earner waits until 70. When the higher earner dies first, the surviving spouse gets to keep the higher benefit for life. This strategy alone can add tens of thousands to your household's lifetime income. Everything we've talked about, longevity projection, the three-bucket strategy, Monte Carlo simulation, Social Security timing, all of this feeds into one number that I think is the most useful metric in retirement planning: your retirement health score. Think of it like a credit score, but for your retirement. Your health score looks at three things. First, whether your savings will last your estimated lifespan. Second, whether your bucket allocation is appropriate for your age and spending needs. Third, what your Monte Carlo probability of success is. Each of these contributes to a score from 0 to 100, and you can see exactly which area needs attention. Why reduce everything to one number? Because clarity leads to action. When someone asks, "How is your retirement looking?" and you can say 73 out of 100, "Here's what I'm doing to improve it," that's a conversation you can have with your spouse, your advisor, or yourself. Complexity is the enemy of action. Now, everything we've just covered, the longevity projection, the three-bucket setup, the Monte Carlo stress test, the Social Security optimizer, and the health score, there's actually an app that brings all of this together in one place. It's called RetireSpan. No jargon, no noise, and you don't need a financial degree to use it. Just your numbers and 5 minutes. The moment you open RetireSpan, you see your retirement health score. It's calculated from your inputs, your savings, your monthly withdrawal goal, your retirement date. No account connections required. No linking your bank. You enter the numbers, and within seconds, you know where you stand. Inside the app, you can set up your 3-bucket allocation with a simple split tool. Drag the sliders to divide your savings into cash, bonds, and stocks. The app shows you if your allocation makes sense for your timeline and sends you monthly reminders when your cash bucket needs a refill. Tap the simulator and you can run your own Monte Carlo analysis. Adjust your withdrawal rate, change the expected return, toggle inflation. The app runs 1,000 scenarios instantly and shows you your probability of success. You can also compare 3 scenarios side by side. Your current plan, a lower spend version, and a higher inflation stress test. The Social Security Optimizer lets you pick your claiming age from 62 to 70 and instantly see the lifetime benefit difference. Move the slider and the numbers update in real time. It's the clearest visualization of this decision I've ever seen in an app. When you're ready to talk to a financial advisor or just want to share the plan with your spouse, you can export a clean PDF report of your entire retirement plan. It covers your score, your bucket setup, your Monte Carlo results, and your Social Security strategy. One tap, one document, ready to send. RetireSpan is built specifically for people between 55 and 65 who are approaching retirement and need to shift from growing their money to planning how to spend it. It's not for day traders. It's not for people just starting out. It's for people who have done the hard work of saving and now need a clear, calm plan for the next chapter. Before you go, here's what I want you to remember. 1. Longevity risk is real. Plan for your money to last 30 years. 2. The 3-bucket strategy is the most practical way to protect income through volatility. 3. Monte Carlo Simulation gives you a probability, not a promise. Aim for 80% or higher. 4. Social Security timing is one of the highest leverage decisions you'll ever make. And 5. All of this should feed into a single, clear retirement health score that tells you exactly where you stand today. If you found this useful, the best next step is to run your own numbers. RetireSpan is free to download on iOS. Just search RetireSpan in the App Store or tap the link in the description. Within about 5 minutes, you'll have your personal retirement health score and a clear picture of exactly where your plan stands. No jargon, no advisor required. Just clarity. If you want more videos like this, covering topics like tax-efficient withdrawals in retirement, Roth conversion strategies, healthcare costs before Medicare, and how to adjust your plan when things change, subscribe and hit the bell. I'm building this channel for people who are close to retirement and want real, practical answers, not generic advice. See you in the next one.